Stalker 2 is finally here, but is it everything that we hoped for, or does it still have some ways to go? Let's jump into my first impressions on the game. I played about 8 hours today. I've grinded. I've made it a good way into the story. I've grinded guns. I've kind of got a feel for the game and how it's going to kind of work. So these are just my thoughts on it. The game looks stunning. The dynamic weather and the lighting, the detail in the environments, just the overall atmosphere and the immersion of the game is a 10 out of 10. It's awesome. It's so good. It's scary as shit. It's like beautiful at the same time. It's creepy. It hits all the elements. Like the sound design is awesome, the dynamic music, and it's really, really cool. It runs kind of like ass, which seems to be the norm for any game that releases nowadays. It definitely is very chunky. Like when you kind of go in between zones, you really feel it. But other than that, the frame rate's pretty good, and like the gunplay feels great. It's not like it really hinders it all too much, because it's really like when you're going in between zones that you get the real hiccups in the game. When I first jumped into the game, I did a couple of the story tasks just to kind of like get moving in the story and get kind of like moving through the game. I feel like the first couple tasks in every game are just like tutorial island. They just kind of walk you along. So once I kind of moved into a spot where I felt like the world finally opened up a little bit and I was free to kind of do what I wanted, I just explored for hours. I think I put like 2 hours into just looting the surrounding area and hitting every hot spot, and just kind of like farmed money and explored. Like felt like old Skyrim or Fallout or something. It honestly feels like the Fallout we never got. It's really awesome. It's super fun. Like the combat's really good. There's a bunch of like little hidden, tucked away like stashes and areas you can go find and scavenge. There's not much of crafting that I've really figured out yet, or any of that. It's mostly just like basic upgrades from traders, and so you just really need to farm money and anomalies. But the overall gameplay loop feels pretty good. The AI is super good. Like the way that you get into engagements with bandits and the way that they fight you is pretty fun. They run a lot of flanks and they actually like to push your position and nade you, and like the combat is very good in this game. Even just fighting NPCs and stuff, like it's really, really good. The one thing that like I really want, because it would just make the combat and everything so much better, is just for like optimization. It's not great in a lot of areas. There's a lot of frame drops and like stuttery, buggy bullshit that you kind of got to deal with, like input delay sometimes, and just feels chunky. But it's day one of release, so I'm not really gonna be that hard pressed about it. I'm sure there'll be some updates and stuff to come out soon. I really feel like they missed with not having multiplayer, and like I don't know if that's everyone's concern. I like playing with my friends. I like gaming with the boys. I also like PvP games, and the thought of this mixing with a version of Tarkov. Imagine Stalker open world with PvP, about 100 people on the server, permadeath, you lose everything when you die. Like imagine Stalker and Rust had a fucking baby. That's all I want in this game right now. The thought of having like a DayZ style Stalker game with like 100-man server would make me fucking nut so hard. Maybe you're not into like the PvP side of things and you want to just PvE and grind. Even if you structured it like Dying Light 2, where you could do story mode together and kind of just grind things in a co-op version of the game, it would just make the game so fun to be able to play with a fucking friend. If not, like Deadside or Rust, where it's like an open server and it wipes like every month or two or something, and you get like a limited stash that you can keep in each zone. You just grind money, and you can find players out in like the wild outside of safe zones, so you can like co-op with your friends, and there would also be PvP and PvE. Like I feel like that game would be fucking incredible. I don't know how they can do multiplayer, if they're planning on multiplayer. I have no idea, but the fact that they don't have it right now kind of bums me out, because the thought of this game having a full multiplayer, like full sandbox Rust style multiplayer, would be so fucking cool. I just really hope that's a thing in the future. Let me know like in the comments, tell me like what you think this game is missing, and this is my like #1 is multiplayer. I'm not overly compelled about the story. Like it's not super intriguing to me. I really just enjoy the combat and like exploration of this game. The story, to me, I don't really find it super engaging. Like the voice acting is fucking terrible. It's hilarious how bad the voice acting is, to be honest. It just doesn't really grab me like other games do. But saying that, it's still really fun just to play the missions. I skip through the dialogue a lot of the times because it's just so boring. But playing the game is fun. The game is fun, storyline kind of meh in my opinion, but maybe I'm off on that. The zone itself is terrifying. Like when nighttime hits and you know bloodsuckers are out and things are getting spicy, it's actually pretty creepy. and it's like very intense to navigate around. The encounters like bandits and mutants and just anomalies just when you're rolling through something is crazy. Like I was fighting a guard tower with like a watch team underneath, so I was fighting like 5 people, and then like a pack of boars just came through and just started fucking shit up. And then when I started finishing that, a bloodsucker came in from the other side, and I just like finished them by climbing up into the tower like a coward that I am and just shooting them with my pistol. And it was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, it was the most stalker feeling thing. It was great. The overall like gameplay of that shit is amazing in this game. Another thing that's really sick is the sound design of this game. It sounds so fucking good. Like all the guns and just like walking through the marsh and listening to the debris and stuff. There are some like weird bugs I think going on with sounds like replaying. Like if you drop a gun, it sounds like it's falling through a fucking tunnel for some reason. But just the dynamic music and the overall sound of just the gameplay is so fucking good too. I'm super happy with Stalker 2. I think everyone should play it. It's on Game Pass, so it's free on Game Pass. I would 100% say buy this game. I just really hope for like a couple things, just optimization and maybe some multiplayer or something, because this game would be the perfect game if it had any of those things. But what are your thoughts on Stalker 2 so far? Would you want a multiplayer in the zone? If you're as hooked as I am on this game, stick around, like and subscribe, do that shit, because I'm gonna be grinding this game and putting out as many videos as I can. I have a Metal Gear Solid video coming out probably in about a week, and then it's gonna be Stalker content from then, because I've been putting hours into this thing. Hope y'all have a good one. Enjoy the zone, dive in, explore. I'll catch you in the next one.